This tutorial is intended to familiarize you with the fundamentals of databases and querying in Snowflake. Snowflake supports querying data in database tables using ANSI Standard SQL. This tutorial demonstrates Snowflake's querying capabilities using the web interface. The Databases page displays information about the databases you have created or have privileges to access. Databases are logical containers for organizing your data into schemas and tables. Because they are logical constructs, you can query across databases in a single query, as long as you have the necessary access privileges. To view and perform tasks on the objects in a database, click on the database name. If you have the necessary privileges, you can create and manage objects, such as schemas, tables, and views in the database. All of these tasks can also be performed using SQL DDL commands. Try creating some databases and tables on your own to see how quick and easy it is. One powerful feature of Snowflake is zero-copy cloning of databases, schemas, and tables. A zero-copy clone only uses storage if you change or add data. For more information about cloning and other database operations, see the Snowflake documentation. This tutorial demonstrates querying tables in the Snowflake Sample Data database shared by Snowflake. If you don't see this database in the Databases page, it hasn't been enabled for your account. To have it enabled, please contact Snowflake support. The sample database is identical to other databases except that it is read-only. You cannot make changes to this database or any of its tables, but you can query its tables just as you would any other database. The sample database contains multiple datasets, each stored in a separate schema. The worksheet provides a powerful environment for building and executing queries, as well as performing all other SQL operations. You can open up to 6 concurrent worksheets, each with its own separate session, where you can execute queries, perform DDL and DML, and load SQL script files. Remember, to execute most queries, Snowflake requires a virtual warehouse. When running, virtual warehouses consume Snowflake credits. Snowflake uses roles to provide access to all objects in the system. If you've been assigned multiple roles, you can switch roles within a worksheet without losing your work. For more information about roles and access control, see the Snowflake documentation. Each worksheet includes drop-down lists to select the warehouse, database, and schema to use for queries executed in the worksheet. Alternatively, you can execute the use command in the worksheet to specify this information. Or you can reference the fully qualified name of the table or view in your queries. Snowflake provides tutorials in the form of SQL scripts to help you get started with the sample database. The tutorials are self-contained and fully annotated. To run a tutorial, click on the plus symbol and select it from the menu. A worksheet is created and the contents of the tutorial are loaded into the worksheet. Tutorial 2 uses the Open Weather Map sample data set, which contains public weather data to answer the question, how well do the weather forecasts for a city predict the actual weather over a period of 12 days? The query retrieves predicted and actual weather data stored in JSON format, so you can try out Snowflake's high-performance, semi-structured functionality. Note that the commands in the tutorial use fully qualified names. First, select a virtual warehouse for processing the queries. Next, execute the queries in the tutorial. The worksheet displays the ID and status of each query, with the results displayed underneath. If you wish, you can make changes to the tutorial and save them as a saved worksheet. The worksheet only shows query output for its own session. To see a historical listing of all queries you executed in the last 14 days across all sessions, open the History page. You can filter the history using the provided filters. To view the details of any query, click the link in the Query ID column. To learn more about the performance and behavior of a query, in the Query Details page, click the Profile tab. The query profile provides a graphical representation of the processing steps for the query, including the execution time for each step and how the time was spent. For more information about the query profile, see the Snowflake documentation. This concludes this short introduction to databases and querying. For more information, see the other videos in this series or the Snowflake documentation.